I don't know about if there's other cities, but they're coming out. It's like they were not seen for a while. Now they're coming out again. And I bring this up because this is the point of my next clip, which, Gray, it's kind of, I'm curious your expertise in the military. It's related to DEI and how Trump is now saying no trans people in combat or in the military whatsoever. And I bring that up because the amount of trans people in America is 1%. But this has been like a main topic of discussion. And isn't that crazy?
Yeah, but isn't that crazy? It's 1%, but there's like 3% in the military.
Well, and that's my point. So I want to hear this. Gray, I'm curious if it's correct, this next clip, because when I looked this up, it said something opposite from this person, but this person says he's in the military. So let's play a little bit of it.
What this means. First of all, number one, and this is what a lot of people don't realize, there are upwards of 15,000 trans people that are serving, quote unquote, in the United States military right now. The first thing that I'm going to tell you is that all of these people are non-deployable. What that means is that if you are a transgender identified person that is, quote unquote, serving in the United States military right now, you are non-combat deployable. So these people cannot deploy to combat theaters. When the United States is involved in any sort of conflict overseas, transgender people literally cannot be deployed. What this means is that you've got a lot of people that are sucking up taxpayer funds, sitting in an office somewhere, maybe they're doing pack clerk work, etc., but they are non-combat deployable. This does not bode well for Pete Hegseth's mission of a lethal military. The second thing is that the vast majority of transgender people, when they separate from the United States military, do so by medically separating. This means that they are at 80 to 100% disability. And so now, what that means is that they are on the taxpayers, they're on the hook, taxpayers are on the hook, for $200,000 to $300,000 per year annually of quote unquote transgender healthcare, which is also covered by the VA. So every single transgender person that separates from the military via medical discharge is covered by the VA for their hormones or their test, like whatever it is that the trans person is on, that is covered by the VA because they are medically separated. This costs American taxpayers to the tune upwards of 6 figures per person. All right. Third,
he's absolutely correct in the fact of, because I'm 100% disabled veteran, and I receive money and I receive health care all from the government. So if they are separated medically, he's absolutely correct. I never met any trans person while I was serving, and also Don't Ask, Don't Tell was involved when I was there. But there is a very famous person who I worked with in intelligence that's now transgender, and that's Bradley Manning, who gave all the information to WikiLeaks, where he put the Britney Spears or Lady Gaga CDs in the computer, and he took the cameras from the helicopters, and he put that on WikiLeaks. And the reason he did that is because at work, every day what we would do, we would go and look on the cameras on the helicopters because we wanted to see some action. That's really how we passed our time.
Wow. So even if, because from what I think my mic was off, but from what you just said, and yes, thank you for your service. Always got to thank Gray for his service. To me, what this man or this person, I'm not sure how they identify, I think they're man, is saying, when a transgender is discharged, not even for, it sounds like maybe an actual injury or disability they got in the military, their medical insurance for their hormones is still covered.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's crazy to me, but I don't know what you guys think. I think that's a little insane, but I guess how do they determine that?
Well, you know what? If they served, listen, if they served, I think if they served and they then transitioned after, great, we should cover it. But If they're actively in service and they're transitioning, I think it should be a given that they're not in the military anymore. They have a condition at that point. It costs up to $5,000 a month to cover these hormones. Why should I have to pay for that? If you have gout, you can't serve. You have asthma, you can't serve. Why should that be allowed? Gray, I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead and say what's covered.
Anything that happens to you while you're in the military, they're gonna pay for. I played football. I broke my thumb. I had a cast on. They give me money for that every month. Now, I never heard about them doing any type of cosmetic surgery or none of that was happening when I was there. But I know people who have gotten paid. One story of a guy told me was a guy walked around pretending with a basketball every day, and then you go to a doctor and it's like a claim, like an insurance claim. So if you're familiar with insurance, you file a claim and then you show how this happened to you. So you file a claim and then you have to show that the military did this to you, so you should be compensated.
Okay. Vulgar, do you have any opinion on if this should be allowed or what you feel about the fact of a transgender even being able to serve in combat? Maybe even if you want to, even you can differentiate it, maybe even serve in combat specifically.
I'm gonna have to go with Nora on this one. If there are certain conditions, what was it, asthma, gout, that you can't serve, I don't think you should be able. If you're altering your body like that and you need these hormones, what happens if you're in a certain remote area and there's a situation where you can't get the things you need? I just think it's a risk. But then, as far as like America covering it, I'm not for that.
Even if they served, you're
If
saying,
and see that, and that's like, it's almost if they serve, maybe they're owed that. Maybe we shouldn't be telling them what they're owed. If that's the exchange, then I don't agree with it. But at the same time, if that's what the contract was or what we agreed to pay them.
And Gray, Cody also served in the military, and I'm curious what you think to this comment. Let's be honest, there is abuse in the amount of medical disability given. Is that referring to each person maybe doesn't actually receive what they really were owed?
Yeah, what I was talking about before, I'll make it a quick story. I said a guy dribbling an invisible basketball. This guy, he would dribble invisible basketball everywhere, and then they took him through the process where he got the claim, and then where he got the money, and then they transferred him took him to the airport. And they got the two guys that were dropping him off. He took the basketball and passed it to him. He said, "Hey, take that. I don't need that anymore." So what I'm saying is that there is fraud in anything. Anytime that you have any type of system, there's fraud. There's people that will say they were SA'd. And it's people that really go through this. And I want to say this for veterans out there, because I know someone personally where a girl, she was deployed to Iraq, and this guy, and I was friends with him, the nicest person ever. You would never thought he would have did this. SA'd her their entire deployment, and she was fully compensated from that. So it's people that lie, but then it's people that go through horrific situations. So of course, it's going to be on the people that are investigating this. It's going to be hard for them to want to like tell people, no, this didn't happen or whatever, because it's so much documentation. They document everything, but sometimes like you don't have the documentation. It's just based on word of mouth.
Right. And how could they prove it? Sorry, Nora.
Yeah.
No. I was going to say, let me say this from personal experience, having family members. My son's father's in the military. The culture in the military is very hard. And I'm not going to say that the military causes people to drink and smoke, but almost everybody I know, they go in, they come out a different person. Preparing people to go to war. Okay. Whether we're actively in war or not, there are certain simulations that they experience, that they go through. Who's to say for me that didn't affect that person? So I don't want to sit there and then go down this rabbit hole and say like it's fraud, because they legit do go through things. And you risk every day that they go and they put on that uniform, they risk their lives for our freedom. So give them what they want. That's where I'm at when it comes to certain things now. But when it comes to the transgender stuff, I want to separate that.
Or did I freeze?
Who, me?
No, I still
You
hear.
probably
I
froze.
still hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Laura.
That was me.
So now when it comes to the transgender things, that's cosmetic. That's a choice. That's not a health condition that was a result of you serving in the military. I don't think we should have to pay for that. And I don't want to lump in those with disabilities, mental, physical, with these people. And I don't think that's fair. At the same time, if they put on the uniform, they served, they came back, I'm not going to say you shouldn't get health care, but I just think like that gender reassignment surgery, that's a personal choice. I don't think it should be covered. It's like saying I want my breast implants covered or lipo. Like I just don't think it's right.
Exactly. And that's why I'm for Trump banning transgenders, because that's what I believe has just tried to do or is about to do. With this is what came out today, breaking Trump to sign new executive orders today banning trans service members, military DEI programs. I mean, it is, like you said, it is a mental health issue. I fully in belief of that and agreement of that. It's not normal. Let's just be real. And I suffered, you guys, and this is something I like to kind of point on. I suffered from an eating disorder for 15 years. Like, I was hospitalized. I was 97 pounds at one point. Imagine I would look in the mirror and I would think I was fat. I would say that. I truly, and I would seriously, when I would look, I thought I looked fat. Now, if I see pictures from when I was 17 or whatever, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was so skinny. But it really messes with your head because I genuinely would not see that body. You don't see what other people see. Mentally, you're mentally sick. So imagine you're mentally sick and you're trying to fight and serve you can't focus. I'm telling you, you can't do like it. To me, that's the biggest thing is you can't actually focus. You're not actually able to, number one, could I all of a sudden put my life on the line for my country? I think it gets in the way of not just whatever physical, if they're not strong enough, or which I'm sure you have to pass physical test, right? To get placed anyways.
PT test.
There you go. So, but then let's say they do. Let's say you are strong enough, you
Mhm.
pass those. I'm telling you, there's going to be a time and a place where their mental state gets in the way of saving their country, saving maybe a fellow member of their military, or being able to handle a situation.
Right. What I would say to that is that it's all kind of jobs in the military. It's cooks, mechanics. Me, myself, I was IT and I worked in intelligence. Now, what did I go around and have to be in some combat situations? Yes, but my main job was like IT. Like, it was like this person knows how to work with computers. They need to do this. So, yes, I definitely agree with you guys. Like, because you need a certain culture. And I will say, like even with sports or something like that, if a person is just, in that alphabet community and you guys got to all live in a area around each other, it probably will cause some type of friction.
Yeah. I want to pivot to the last topic of the night, but does anyone else have anything they wanted to say left on this topic? I didn't want to cut anyone off. No, we're good. Okay. So I want to go into this, kind of does relate to immigration, just because I feel like it's similar to, a lot of people are angry about DEI because they think, that's discriminatory towards your race. And that's why I think people are mostly freaking out, specifically the left, about these deportations. So I want to play a clip from Obama in 2008.
You'll be deported. If you plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up. The actions I'm taking are not only lawful, they're the kinds of actions taken by every single Republican president and every single Democratic president for the past half century.
So I'm going to play this next one really quick as well.
Deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If they've been working and are law-abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait in line.
If you're a criminal, you'll be deported.
I just played this, but let's watch it. The clip that you wanted me to play about Obama and how he says in this speech, every Democratic president and Republican president has done these immigration or mass deportations, whether it was as televised as it is today or not, is the issue. But why do you think that people are literally freaking out? Selena Gomez is having a breakdown on the internet, and also Chicago. I don't know if you guys saw that. The chair, head of a school in Chicago, lied and said that ICE came to their school, but it was actually the Secret Service.
Mm. Hmm. Well, what I have to say is this: is having a lot of Hispanic friends, they called Obama the deporter in chief. I have personal friends where half their family member was deported back to Venezuela. So to then say that that wasn't happening before is disingenuous, and that just shows where we're at. That people want to support the Democrats because I call them the Democrats. They are a demonic force, and that's pretty much where we're at.
Great. What do you think? 'Cause I know you are left leaning, right? How do you feel the outrage that a lot of people on the left are feeling because of these deportations?
I think I'm torn because I'm black, and I'll tell a quick story. I was at Sam's Club in 2016, and this guy, he was very southern white guy. He came up to me. He said, "Hey man, this is the first time the black man and the white man been on the same page." So I mean, like, I never been included in a racist conversation, so it was abnormal for me. So I mean, I think it's like the direction towards black people not being the people that's considered the bad in this country is a breath of fresh air. So I'm not as upset as other people. And I do think people need to be deported if they broke the law. I feel like I agree with that.
Vulgar.
I'm going to tie it back to the media outlets profiting.
Profiting?
Is
that what you said?
Yes, I feel like since 2020, that's when a lot of this started with BLM. Even the Asians jumped in with the Asian hate. Everybody's trying to get a piece of victimhood, and I feel like the deportation has became a part of that. Getting people out. So that's all it is. I feel like the media outlets are the ones that's really fueling this. People need something. I really feel like a lot of people just need something to feel bad about or drama in their life because they don't have enough to do. Honestly, that's my take on it. If they're, like I said, if they're illegal, they came here illegally, they got to go. Like I said, I'm a person of competition. The more we get out of here, that lessens the playing field. So it might sound mean, but
no. But what's shocking to me is how someone, like we're saying, could allow Obama to deport actually one of the most deportations, 5 million people in his 8 years of being our president, and they say nothing about this then. But why is it such an issue? Like, Trump is the devil. Trump is Hitler, of course. Oh my goodness. Everyone's Hitler. So
because they have to play if they agree with, they're trying to hide what Obama did. We're the ones that's putting it out there. We don't have the bigger voice of CNN, ABC, NBC. There's only a few right outlets, and they're not really on it. But you have to pit these two against you. It's like a movie. You got a protagonist, antagonist. That's really what's happening right now. Obama is the protagonist and Trump is the antagonist, and they have to keep this going. So they have to keep them pitted against each other. You will never hear about Obama being the biggest. Even if you do, the people on the left are they're so into it that they don't care. All they see is I hate Trump.
I want to speak for the left for a second, though, but it's the economic stuff that the left talks about, where they say illegal immigrants pay so much money in taxes and then they can't get a tax return. And then I feel like people thought Trump was going to deport 11 million people. And I know the Republicans are like, oh, well, they compare it to slavery, where every time the Democrats say, oh, well, here's going to pick our fruits, who's going to do all this low-class labor. The economic argument is what Democrats are having, saying that you're going to take away an entire workforce that Americans and billionaires need.
But what about the Americans that are
I,
unemployed?
I think
Yeah, that's something.
Janet, to go back
Yeah,
to your
Nora.
question though. The reason why the media did not have an issue with Obama because he was pushing so many progressive things. He passed Obamacare. He did don't ask, don't tell in the repeal, don't ask, don't tell in the military. We had gay marriage. Think about how much our country changed in the 8 years that President Barack Obama was our president. So do you think the liberal media would question him on deporting people? You think they would highlight that? Even that's a right point. Why would they make him look good? Why would they make him for the right? Why would he look good for the right? As far as because remember that was Trump's whole thing running against Hillary at the time. The border was messed up. We need to deport more people. Well, come to find out, he was deporting the most people in history. But why would they say that? Why would they want to propel him in that way? Also, why would the left highlight that? Because then, or the media highlight that so the left would attack it. It's not a progressive thing to deport all these people, but it is progressive when you're, doing revoking don't ask, don't tell. It is progressive when, you're getting gay marriage, which set us up for now the LGBTQ trans agenda that we're seeing. So yeah, I mean, that was why he pushed the left's points, the left agenda that changed our country for the next 20 plus years that we've now been seeing.
It just seems like it's such a community of sheep, unfortunately, because of what you just said. So because he was saying so many left-leaning things or left things, not even left-leaning, progressive movements, the few right movements we'll agree with. To me, that's the definition. I hate the term grifter, but that is a grifter to me. It's like, what? All of a sudden, because he supports these other things, which by the way, Trump is not anti-gay marriage. He has gay weddings at his country clubs. He's not talking about it because why do we need to talk about it? Like, who cares? Like, truly, we're at a national security risk. We have sleeper cells in our country. We are infiltrated. I have another clip and we'll see if we play it. There's just a shooting of the drug cartels at the border against us. Like, I can't emphasize enough, and I don't want to be like, alarmist, but we're under attack. And I don't know, but Gray, don't you, from your military experience, don't you feel that as well? Like, we are under attack as a country from the inside out.
I would say that.
Come on, Gray, you've seen it on the chat. Come on, tell the truth. What does the left say? They hate this country. Vulgar, am I lying? What does the far left say? They hate this country.
I was going to jump in and say that before we jumped off, but that's what it is. The left, a good amount of America hates authority. They hate the Constitution because the Constitution puts you in your place. That's what to me, that's what a good majority of this is about. And you have, you have the media fueling it and telling them that they're right. But that's what it is. They hate the Constitution. They don't want to listen. Everybody want to do what they want to do. They don't care that these people get pushed out or illegal. Because of their feelings, we feel they should stay here. They don't understand the ramifications of them staying here and how they're straining the system. Even Trump cutting out he's trying to save money because we keep going more and more into a deficit. They want what they want. They don't want to cut anything.
But to answer your question, Jenna, do I feel like we're under attack and as far as war? No, war was definitely way more tense, way more anarchy, and every house in the area is allowed to have an AK-47. You don't want to touch something because you're afraid that it would explode. When I look at the border, I look at people that are desperate and are trying to take advantage of the American system almost due to currency exchange. And I feel like that's what people don't talk about, is that they come here to get the American dollar to send money back to take advantage of the currency exchange. But
that's what war is. War is looting and pillaging. Because the thing is this, Gray, and I'm a child of immigrants, but when you take free healthcare from our country because they don't have insurance, so they're able to go to the hospital and get treated. When you have your kids going to school, getting resources, they're getting translators, they're getting resources, free lunch in schools, they're getting Medicaid, they're getting Medicare, they're getting all sorts of benefits from our country, and then they're taking the money in turn and sending it home.
That
To me, that is war.
let me respond, and I'm just talking about something personal. What my uncle was a Vietnam vet. Him waking up at my grandmother's house saying, "Oh, they made me unalive women and children," and tried to take his own life while I was there. That's a big difference where someone is actually taking people's lives and they've lost their mind. Then people coming across, and then you can arrest them and send them back. That's a big difference. Do I feel like the border's out of control? Sure. But do I feel like it's to the point that casualties are being lost, and to compare that to what's happening in Ukraine and in the Middle East? No, I don't put that in the same arena.
Well, we have people that hate this country that are openly saying they hate this country. They are openly attacking us in the media. They are openly probably selling our secrets. There are people that were inside the Democratic Party that were Chinese spies. And that is fact, Jenna. You research stuff, so you can quote me. We are under attack. We are
Hey,
literally under attack. Now, I'm not going to say it's as bad as Palestine, Israel, what's going on over there in the Middle East, Jordan, Lebanon, all those countries, Ukraine. No, I'm not saying that. But we also have people that use their truck on New Year's Day, ran through a group of people. We have people shooting up schools because they hate this country. We are under attack because of the demonic agenda to tell us to hate each other. Okay, this is an attack. We are in war. You know what, y'all don't gotta believe that. Listen to Gray, don't listen to me. But I'm gonna tell you this: be alert wherever you go, because we are under attack. And if you are people of God, get close to Jesus, get close to God, whatever God you pray to. It don't just gotta be Jesus. You can pray to Allah, whatever you believe in, or even Jewish people, because I know your family's on the line. And so I'm just saying, hey, get close to God with whatever you believe in, because we are under a spiritual attack. And be alert, be woke, be vigilant. I wouldn't trust the media either, because we are under attack. I mean, I'm just being honest with you.
Jenna, I know you're in a rush. Am I allowed to respond?
No, please. I can be late to the other thing. Please keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I keep hearing the narrative that Democrats hate this country. I mean, why would they run?
I didn't say
government?
Democrats, the far left, not the Democrats, the far left that run the Democrats.
The left
Are you talking about politicians or just normal
deep
people?
state.
I'm talking about George Soros. He represents the far left. He has the money. I'm talking about people like that has control within the Democratic Party. What's that? Elon, whatever her name, Omar, AOC. Those
Is
people.
it my turn? Is it my turn? Okay.
Yes, I'm sorry.
So basically, you're saying that people who are participating in American politics hate the country. I don't agree with that. I feel like people that the Koch brothers, they probably worry about their money. Do I feel like they have affinity for America and they can succeed? Yes. George Soros is another rich person. I'm pretty sure he likes that he was able to make success in this country. I feel like the argument that's happening now is that we're demonizing the other side. You actually are sitting here saying these people are demons. Like, the fact that you would say that is just like asinine to me, because these are regular people. This is people just living their lives and saying, I don't necessarily like Trump. I don't necessarily like what's going on in this country. Do I think that these people walk in their local grocery store and say, oh, I want to unalive people because I hate this? No, my perception is that most people are good, whether they're Republican or Democrat. And like, we really only started talking about politics now. I don't know about you guys, but me growing up, we never really talked about it, but now it's like a big thing.
Yeah.
And to be clear, I didn't say Democrats. I said the far left. If you call yourself the far left, that's who I'm referring to.
Amen. Do you guys want to read your super chat? Kelly Corinne, we can't pick and choose
Thank you,
which
Kelly.
laws follow. Yes, it's illegal to cross the border, and Jesus is the only way. Amen. I mean, facts. I think, we're deaf. To me, I know, Gray, maybe the devil demonic talk is a bit far for you. And I understand. I could understand that if you're not like, where the frequency that me and Nora exist on. And maybe you don't read the stories that Nora and I read, because let me tell you, it's demonic stuff. But we 100, if I'm seeing, which I just saw in New York at a pro Hamas rally, and they're not even calling, I'm sorry, but if you're calling the rally pro Hamas and not even saying pro Palestine, I have an issue with you. Hamas is a terrorist group that wants not only to obliterate Israel, let's not even talk about Israel. They want to take America down. And it's much harder.
I agree.
It's much harder to take America down. That's why I think it's maybe not so obvious that we are under attack, because it's going to be so much harder to take us down. That is why they're trying to take Israel down first, because that's an ally. So get all the allies out of the way. And then who will America have? No one. So we right now have people that are burning the American flag in this country, people that are saying, burn this country down. It's not worth saving. I'm sure you've seen those things. And to me, deport all of those people. I don't even care if you're bored here.
Jenna, do you have the clip of what they were doing in Dallas? Maybe Gray needs to see it. Did you see what happened in Dallas, Gray?
With the burning of the flag?
Yes, because they're protesting for the immigration deportations. They were literally shutting down traffic. You don't think that that's terrorism of some kind, Gray? What if you had a wife and you wanted to get her to the hospital? She's pregnant. You had a dying parent. You had somewhere you had to get to, and these people were blocking traffic. How would you feel?
I would feel way better than I felt on 9/11 in 2001.
Okay.
When you're talking about people that hate this country, that's where I look at where people have political ambitions and are trying to destroy what America stands for. When I see young kids, college kids protesting, I'm just like, they're young. This is how they
Protesting
feel.
is okay. It's the violence.
Sorry, I didn't know it was going to come up. This is not.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is not the DC one, because I didn't have. If you want to grab that from here, but this is I had already on my computer. This is in New York.
Oh, this is New York. Okay, go ahead and pull that.
It's our country. It's our country. Fuck this country. Burn it down. Burn it down. You guys are the enemy. Don't burn the flag. I don't care what you say. Don't burn the American flag. Fuck yeah, baby.
I mean, he literally says, "F this country, burn it down. You guys are the enemy." They're like, "No, you're the enemy." Like this is literally. The call is coming from inside the house. Like this is like it's in the house. The murder is in the house.
Was this a response to what Trump said about Gaza? Is this why they're doing this?
This is just, I don't know if it's the most recent, because today it came out that something I sent Nora earlier this morning that Trump wants to possibly move all of the people from Gaza to either Egypt or Jordan. No, this is from a few days ago. This is just a pro-Hamas rally in New York City. Which is ridiculous, because you sent it to me?
In the private chat.
Okay, which is ridiculous because you guys, we're also like in the middle of a ceasefire. So I'm like, no one is fighting at the moment. Let me pull this clip up from Nora. While I'm getting it queued up, what do you guys think about, or what do you think about that? Seeing that, Gray? I mean, isn't it a little like, as serving in the military, that doesn't hurt your heart to see people saying this about America?
No, I mean, I'm not surprised. I've always seen people say stuff about the American flag. And I feel like Trump kind of like took the American flag, kind of made it his own, so he's synonymous with that. And I mean, these are, I'm assuming, are American citizens. Now, do I feel like you should be charged for desecrating the flag? Absolutely. That's our symbol and everything like that. But, I mean, I don't want to jump into demonizing people as well as people on the right when they protest, because I feel like we have to remember these are American citizens and, like, we need to try to get to some common ground.
Yes.
To be clear, I'm not anti-protest. What I'm anti is when they get violent. I just want to be clear. And they're planning violence. Shouts out to, if y'all see anything about cute winter boots or anything like that, I'm going to just say that. I'm going to let the thing read for itself, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. And here, let me play. Nora sent me this clip. Let's watch this.
This is not this is like chaotic, and this is not even that bad. There's more, but I just want to show you. This is them in the street, like blocking traffic. Like this is like not okay. And there was more of them. This is like nothing. I just want to show you them throwing things, throwing the flag, the facing the flag. There was more of them. This was actually a pretty tame clip. I probably should have got a better one, but I wanted to show you them like
No,
throwing the flag and getting crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's actually insane because this is when I've been on Gray on your guys's lunch chats on TikTok, and
Mhm.
even in our own group chat, someone says, "I don't like America." I have an issue with that. What do you mean? So what is even the point of arguing for anything for America if you don't even like it?
I would say that people are just not patriotic, and I would say I'm not, and I understand what you're saying. Well, where are you guys coming from with this? But America had a revolution where they did no longer want to be tied to a country, never wanted to pay taxes, and a person named George Washington made sure that he took charge and he created another country. We've had revolutions everywhere, so people make their statements when they don't like what's going on in a country. Do I feel like you should attack the country itself? No. But if you feel like certain things are operating how you want them to operate, then you should voice your opinion peacefully and in a way that others aren't harmed.
Vulgar, what do you think about seeing this type of behavior or when someone even just says they don't like America?
I think part of America is the freedom to dislike and have an issue and be able to express it. So that's not so much of an issue. I kind of wanted it what you were talking about earlier with Nora and Gray was going back and forth about the far left or Democrats. I have a personal story. So here in Missouri, Kansas City, there was a local election last year. And this is going to be controversial when I say it. So most of my friends are liberal Democrats. A couple of my friends, they're actually politicians here in the city. And I get invited out to different events. And there was two women running for the DA. And she got up and spoke. And basically her campaign that she was running on is if she get elected as DA, because Missouri, had the total abortion ban, she said that she would not prosecute any abortions in the city, even though it was state law. So when Kelly in the comment earlier, she said the law is a law, we need to follow it. That's the kind of things that I know Nora was saying the far left, but it's also Democrats too, because they can't concede anywhere. They're on these feelings. What they feel is right is what they're doing. Like she should have never said that. That should have never been part of her campaign. I spoke up and said something about it because I'm like, the law is a law. You might be pro-choice, but if the people vote you in as DA and the state law is state law, you need to follow that. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about, and maybe what Nora's talking about as far as even the politicians are not doing what they're supposed to do on the left. They're so emotionally charged. They just want to do what they want to do, throw the law, Constitution out the window.
Can I respond?
Of course.
Yes.
If we followed the law, we wouldn't be on this video with Jenna right now. We went to a bathroom that said colors only. So, I mean, some of these laws don't need to be followed. I don't think politics should get into health advice. I think that it should be separate with the doctor, my personal opinion. But we're saying that like the left is evil. I never felt like the right. Now I feel like today, and this is what I'm gonna give you guys. I feel like today it's possible that a black person can be a Republican. I understand the allure for you guys. So that means we are making some type of progress in this country. Can I do that? Probably not, but 50 years from now, 40 years, is possible. So, like, I do feel like Trump took some of the racism out of Republican parties because of his lifestyle. He got a bunch of baby mamas. He rich, he talk trash. So I understand why he's relatable for some of you guys. Like, yeah, I get it.
Hilarious.
So, Gray, let me ask
My
you this.
grandfather.
Let me ask you this. You're part of the Democrats and the left. If they told you to put a rainbow flag in your bio, are you doing it? Because that's pretty much like you have to have all the flags in your bio. Do you have all the flags in your bio?
No, and like I'm pretty sure you don't agree with everything that the Republican Party says. I'm pretty sure Vogler says some red pill stuff that you like. No, I can't get down with that. So,
I mean, of course, we can all agree to disagree, but the point I'm making is there anything that the left does that you don't agree with currently? Because, like, I feel like I know you're the only one on the line, but you know, I don't understand why we can't all agree that it's un-American some of the things that they're
oh,
doing, and
okay.
there
So,
needs to be a line drawn.
Since Vogler, Jenna will not take it too long, right? You
Go
okay?
no, but
Oh,
you're
okay.
okay. That
Since we're talking,
chat goes for like 2 hours. It's all
since
good.
we're talking about personal stories, I knew a politician too, and then we went. They lost. They were a Democrat. We ate because the person was extremely depressed, and that's the issue that I have with all politicians, that they're thinking about power and they're not thinking about the people, because this person also got Republican donors. But when we were sitting there, we were talking, and they were so upset about Trump. I was the only person at the table that said, okay, listen, but every single time people talk to me, they said stuff about the alphabet stuff. That's what they said every single time. I feel like the Democrats should have never taken that on. I don't know if they ever like said pronouns or something, but I felt like them having that turned a lot of people off. I'm not gonna say it necessarily turned me off. I mean, I don't really care what people do in their own lives, but like I do feel like for parents, and once they start talking about the school and stuff, and I don't know how factual it is, but I understand why people were upset. And Trump was more likable than Kamala Harris. I can even agree to that.
The alphabet stuff goes to DEI, Gray. That was why people are against DEI because of that factor right there.
They
It's all
weren't saying
connected.
DEI, nor they were saying that I
They
don't
don't know
like
the
these
term.
people. Like, let's be
Yes.
real. Like, it was behind closed door conversations. I don't like these people, and I'm like, okay, I understand. Like, that's what every black MAGA man that I talked to, and I'm not saying it was you, Volker, but everyone that I talked to, that's the first thing they said to me every single time. I could have named 50 policies. They would have went back and said, I don't like this.
Yes, because they don't like DEI, and that was what
No,
the
you're trying
Democrats
to
were
say that.
propelling. They don't know the term. They're not.
You're trying-
They're not going to know the ideology term. It's not just about the gay stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like you're fitting it in a box with it just being gay. It goes to the whole DEI agenda, the whole changing the culture, the whole pushing these things on people that they don't agree with personally. That's what it goes to.
No, Nora. And I'm not saying these people are bigots. I'm not saying these people are stereotypical or prejudiced. I'm not saying any of that. That isn't what I'm saying. But the conversations I had with people, they don't like that mostly. Like the border was one, all the other stuff was one, but that was the main thing people told me. I'm just being honest with you.
Are you saying about transgender
Yeah,
specifically?
yes, absolutely.
Right. Which, and then I guess, Nora, what you're saying is, well, that movement, the transgender movement, it does relate to DEI because it's diversity, equity, inclusion, meaning it's race,
Correct.
gender, sexuality,
Correct.
how they're. So I understand that point, and to Gray's point as well, that's the issue, and I think you're right. I think that's why the left lost a lot of people, because we're talking about an issue that affects such a small portion of Americans. it's 1% of Americans are transgender. And now maybe the number grew because of social contagion and everyone that's mentally sick and unhealthy started to be like, well, growing up is hard. Maybe I'm the opposite gender, because truly that's what I think happened. People just don't know how to handle puberty and traumas, and which actually leads into my point of why health does need to become political, why health is becoming political, because now we're crossing lines where people are bringing their inside stuff out. They're doing that, right? So you putting your sexuality, who you're sleeping with, who you feel that you should be, you're making all of us agree with you. And I don't agree with you. And that's where they lost a lot of people on the left. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing I wish they definitely wouldn't have, or they should have distanced themselves from that more. And I mean, Kamala made a whole bunch of mistakes. I mean, there's a bunch that we can go down, but I mean, like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. But as far as me, I mean, for now, I'm blue no matter who. I respect you guys. I understand where you guys are coming from. But that's where my stance is, where I feel like I can be helped. I don't get into a lot of cultural stuff. You know, my brain works mathematically. So that's just my perspective on life.
Yeah. And I think, and I'll say one more thing, and then I'll get all of your guys' closing thoughts, because I think something that we spoke about, you just all made apparent to me tonight too, is, yeah, why are politics such a hot topic today? I mean, I know there's people in my, well, maybe not in my immediate circle anymore, that don't care or talk about politics at all. And to that, I say, I don't think you actually care about whatever country you live in or the person next to you, because just because something doesn't affect you doesn't mean you shouldn't know about it, know what's going on in the world. And I think that's why we actually got to the issues we have today, is because people used to not care. They didn't know what was going on in the world. They didn't pay attention. And that's why there's so much misinformation, and people have to, catch up. Again, I don't want to keep always bringing up the Holocaust, but today there's Holocaust deniers. Why? Because people aren't learning about the Holocaust. Or there's other issues with, I'm sure, I don't know, I bet you people aren't learning about slavery, or in Germany, they're not learning about other things, right? Or in Asia, it's like people aren't learning these things. And that is why I love how popular politics are, but also I think I want people to know about it more. And I just think it's extremely, it's such an issue when you think only about yourself. That is when you are depressed. I'm telling you, if you know the term self-conscious, what does that mean? It means two things. One, self-conscious, insecure, I'm low self-esteem. Mm-hmm. But in this other frame of mind, self-conscious means self-aware. I am self-conscious. But when you are self-conscious, you're insecure. You're focused only on yourself. And I think it causes depression. And that is why, I know I'm making a far jump, but that's why I think health is extremely important to politics, because also, unfortunately, we're in such an advanced world today that all of our food goes through systems, and it's like we're not farmers anymore. So there's like factories and there's policies for food. And so in terms of that and medical issues, there's medical policies, insurance companies. So I think health is important, but that's why I love politics. And I want each of you to just give one closing thought, either in response to me or anything we spoke about today.
For sure. Am I going first?
Yeah. Why not?
So I will agree with Jenna. I'm glad that people are more into politics. I have to say, Trump is the reason that I'm into politics. A new party wouldn't exist. Between 2016 and 2020, I woke up every single morning and I put Trump news in Google as soon as I woke up. It's become more mainstream. And honestly, it's become like a movie. I feel like I'm watching the House of Cards. It's entertaining. I mean, I hate to dumb it down that way, but it is more entertaining. As far as what we talked about today with DEI and everything else, I would just say to the Democrats, let's try to work with Republicans. They're in control. I feel like it makes more sense to work together than to work opposing each other. And I'm glad that we can come on here and talk with each other and have these conversations.
Thank you. Vulgar.
I'm going, let's see. Pretty much, I want to try to make everybody aware as far as the media and how powerful it is. I know I've been saying it a lot, but I think this kind of answers a lot of what we're talking about tonight as far as division. If you look back, there was a time when slavery ended where the Black community was prosperous, and maybe other races. I know the Irish and a few other people went through some things. There was a tussle back and forth between different races at the time. But if you look at Hollywood, when they first came into existence with movies and stuff, if you look at something like the Klan, that came from Birth of a Nation. That was a movie, and it programmed. So I think a lot, like when I say the media, this goes back farther than CNN or all the networks. I want to say that Birth of a Nation was like the first big programming, and it pitted the white people against blacks, which was already a thing, but just to visualize it, a lot of times the brain can't tell the difference between the real life and what's on TV because television is so new. So we have to teach our kids or understand that there's a difference, and a lot of people don't separate the two. And that just goes to saying more people need to think critically about what they're absorbing and watching. If they don't, and we just keep getting dumber and stuff keep getting dumbed down, we're going to keep being against each other. That's why a lot of things I say may come off offensive or my truths, because I know what's going on. I know the programming, and I sometimes feel like I'm on the outside just watching people just go back and forth. And I'm trying to tell them the truth, but the media is more powerful, so it creates that animosity between me and the other side. I hate that it's us and the other side. It should just be debate. We should be having discussions, and we should either enlighten the other person or agree to disagree and still be able to get things done.
Great points. Great points. It's hard to live in a world where we all think the same. Nora, up to you.
Well, I'm going to double down again by saying we are in a spiritual battle. Spiritual warfare represents inward and outwards battles that we face against the enemies of God. These enemies include Satan, his dominions, angels, and fallen angels at that. So anything that goes against God is demonic. And whatever you worship, whatever you believe, open the Bible, open the Quran, open the Torah. And if it's against God, then you need to get away from it. And again, I didn't say Democrats, but the far left want us divided. They want us hating each other. They don't want us putting family or country or God, country, family first. And to me, I don't want to be associated with people like that. I really don't. And I'll say this. I will want a conversation, have conversations and work together with the left and the Democrats. Gray's one of my best friends. He's a Democrat, and there's no converting him, unfortunately. But we will give him passes. I believe we are stronger united. We are the United States of America, and anyone that wants to go against it, you need to ask yourself, why is that? If they tell you they hate this country, why do you hate this country? You hate this country, meaning you don't want us to succeed. We are in the golden age, the golden era of American greatness. You are living in it, folks. And the next 50 years, we're going to look back and we're going to say, man, this was an amazing 4 years with Donald Trump. Thank you, Donald Trump, for making us and having us continue to be the greatest planet on earth. And if you don't want to get on that, you don't want to be on that train, get off and leave. The door is there, y'all. Just like the border works both ways, the border keeps you in, it can let you out. So I say this to the far left watching. If you hate America, go ahead and leave. We are in the golden era. You don't got to be here. Bye. Okay. And to all those that are being deported, I am going to pray for those that are right standing, those that were truly innocent. I'm going to pray that you have vindication. If you came here the right way and this ICE is after you, I am a child of immigrants. I stand with you. I am not against all immigrants. And I'm going to say that now. I may be the only MAGA that you hear say that. I am not against immigrants. I am for you to have legal citizenship. So again, I pray to God that you have that pathway, and I pray to God for everyone in America, because again, we're in the golden age, and that's my last words.
Wow, what a show. You three are so
Mhm.
good. I love you guys so much. You guys, if you're not following the new party, follow them. They're on X, they're on TikTok. They do a lunch hour live every day, right? Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. on TikTok live. They also have Instagram. I think I said X or as well. If I didn't, go follow them there. And then if you guys also, they all have personal handles. So go follow them on their personal accounts, Instagram, TikTok, X, all of it. Okay. And of course, follow me. Come and join the crew over
Yes,
here.
follow
If you're on YouTube, that's my favorite place to be. Come and subscribe to my channel. Also, their YouTube channel is monetized. Do you guys have memberships? You can be like a member.
Yes.
Amazing. Check out their memberships. Check out my memberships. We all have super chats. And thank you guys all for being here. If you haven't already, like the live. It helps us out a lot. It's a free thing you can do. It takes literally half of a millisecond to just click the little thumbs up button and leave a comment. And we will see you guys next Tuesday, 8 p.m.
For sure.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Have a good night.
everyone.